Hey ratbags, it's Jade today giving you the breakdown and recap of everything IGN's been doing with Nightingale and basically the key info that has been revealed. Very excited about Nightingale. You're going to be seeing lots of content here on the channel. I will actually be focusing on this ahead of other games like Sons of the Forest, although I will still be dipping into that as and when I can. But Nightingale for sure is going to be my main game once it releases on the 22nd of February. So what have we got today? Well, IGN have done a series of videos over the last few days, taking a look at the very basic beginnings of the game, taking a look at an Apex fight, and then a final preview breakdown. It's very much lots of new info to go over. So leave a like, find it useful, and let's go. Okay, so IGN got a bit of flack, as they often do, because they showed off the first 15 minutes. And to most survival game fans, this will be nothing out of the ordinary. Gather resources, build a little shack, job done. I actually thought it was a good idea to show this, but a lot of comments were saying it's kind of mundane. But to me, that's what I want to see. I want to see what the game's really like, not just the bombastic or a snazzy trailer. Show me what the first half hour could potentially be. And there is a tutorial that guides you through the early stages and gives you a glimpse of what you might expect as it rushes you through maybe portals. Unless anything's changed, that's what we kind of expect. And it's alluded to that from the IGN articles. So maybe nothing crazy new here, but it definitely is showing that the game's looking great. It's still got a focus on crafting, and obviously your first bases are going to be nothing more than twig little huts as you build up your base, which you have to plonk down a cairn, and that becomes basically your realm, your server. Other players can come and join, and if they set that realm as theirs, then they can come and join, or if you allow them to anyway at least, that server even when you're not online. Very similar to mechanics we've seen in recent games actually, like Grounded, where you can share your worlds. It seems to be the same sort of technology powering a little bit, at least anyway, with Nightingale. You don't have to do that. You can play single player all you want. You can have it completely public and just randoms can join whenever they want. But otherwise, if you want to make a consistent world with other players, that seems to be the case, unless anything's changed or I've misconstrued anything. But yeah, the game's looking great. Obviously seeing this unedited gameplay really showing off just various different aspects. The crafting looks like it's pretty involved with the amount of resources you've got. Obviously I have played Nightingale for a long time. I've given them a lot of feedback, but I can only really talk about what's publicly out there. And what I'm seeing though is definitely a good, decent little UI, and I will say it's certainly improved since the times that I've played and tried. And then obviously a big focus on crafting. What I have felt like I hadn't seen as much maybe is the attention to atmosphere. There definitely feels like there's more atmosphere in the world, whether it's just bugs and flies. I just felt like it was just more ambient watching this gameplay. It's all pretty cool, it's all pretty there. There's lots of info though, to be fair, showing you different weight, different styles of ingredient slots and stuff. And it does look to be lots of different types of stone and wood. You might have to get good at micromanaging and working out what kind of resources you really need. I'm still not mad keen on some of the fonts usage. I still think like the golden option where it says like 20 on the pickaxe there or the weapons, I'm guessing that's the level. It's just always not as clear. I think I'd like that to be changing, but obviously it fits with the style and the theme of Nightingale. So before we finish off on the Apex Predator fight, let's take a look at IGN's preview. Of course, you will find a link to this video if you want to watch it all yourself, and I'm sure the others. What I'm seeing is a fantastic collection here of different bases and environments and armors, some really unique stuff, something I don't think I've seen in many other survival games. Obviously lots of creatures on show, and we get for the first time to see Nightingale. This is the city that we're basically trying to fight our way back to. So according to IGN though, Nightingale won't actually be there with early access launch. They're working on it currently, but there will be other places that you'll be able to meet other players. There is going to be a hub that you'll be able to explore and basically see other people running around in their fancy armor. They call it the Watch in IGN, and I can't remember, to be honest, if I spoke about it before or not, but it does seem like that's where we're going to be basically seeing if there's anything we can maybe get our hands on, because it looks cool. I really love the art style of Nightingale. I think it's like this weird mix of Dishonored and obviously more typical sort of survival open world games. The lamp punk or the gas lamp fantasy, I always get it confused, is definitely my vibe, and seeing all the creatures really just coming to life more and more, seeing how many different types there are as well, like this beetle I'd never seen before, and then obviously we've got Puck talking and guiding you through missions. IGN does pretty much here state that the missions are kind of being just very easy to see, like you get the basic ones for quests to guide you through as an almost mini tutorial, and then you're left to your own devices a bit more. It's not going to be just spoon feeding you every 2 minutes kind of annoyingly. We see proper combat with wolves and then lots of building styles. This is the pagoda set they've shown off in a few dev blogs and stuff. It looks really ornate. I do wonder sometimes if it's a bit too ornate, but hey, that's the way. I think some people really like maybe the gauchiness of it. And then, yeah, flying around with your umbrella like Mary Poppins, seeing Puck twee off there. I think some players will find maybe Puck just a little bit too twee, but we'll have to see. Maybe he's going to become everyone's firm favourite NPC little helper. And then we obviously see more base building just cut with shots again of the giant that we could apparently not always have to kill. You may be able to talk to him and engage with him and not have that fight. So yes, lots of this stuff are kind of covered, but I'm just excited. It's nice seeing it all put together by IGN really. The base is on show. We saw some ambient videos recently. The decor, there's so much decor that you'll be able to place and make your base better. It does seem to have some sort of important use in terms of maybe the NPCs and stuff that you'll be able to recruit and bring back with you. And then obviously exploring dungeons and coming up against other enemies. And then we get to the really new parts. So it looks like there's maybe some various changes from the first dev blogs. They talked about cards. The cards are the focus of the game. It's how you transport to other realms, gather new resources, and you control what kind of realm you're going to be stepping into. I think they've streamlined it a little bit. Basically, you need two types of cards to create a realm. You need a major and then a biome card. The biome card obviously sets out what kind of biome it is, and then the major card will determine kind of the difficulty, what types of enemies you might encounter, possibly what kind of resources you might get. Then they've got something called minor cards, and they have said that this is going to be able to be changed on the fly, and this is new to me. So these minor cards you'll be able to use, and it could literally change the world as you're playing. That is very new. Before, we always kind of knew that you'd go to one of these machines or a portal and load it up and travel that way, but the idea that you'd be able to maybe make something more difficult on the fly, I think that's really cool. Or maybe even easier, or just change it dynamically so you can maybe get other kinds of resources. Previously, as far as we knew, it was a case of just doing it all at the, like I said, the portal or the machine, and you could add then minor adjustments to it, but the realm would be like that, and you'd have to use it again to go to a different realm. And so that is sounding pretty interesting. It's going to maybe stop you having to go through a million different realms if you could actually just change the environment around you. I talk again about the procedural generation, and I think it's probably about time I start doing some more actual guides talking about everything we know up to date, because we knew that things were procedurally generated in terms of landmarks that you'd come across, but it does look like this is going to apply to pretty much everything, dungeons as well. And we get a little bit of a talk here. Got almost strike events. That's what it's kind of loosely based on, maybe Destiny, or give the reviewer here that impression, and these are actually called vaults. Now they say that the vaults can be completed, or you have to play them with other players. So again, that's fairly new. Obviously I know it's a big on single player, but the idea that you might have to actually complete only these with other players because maybe they're too hard or too challenging. Is that going to be just like an end game activity? Is it going to be something you can unlock straight away? How does it going to work with different levels? There's a lot of questions to be answered, which I'm sure will get answers to when they have their playtest, which is coming very soon. So puzzle elements and really making sure that you can do these vaults with your friends or with other players efficiently. I think that was what IGN were saying. They basically watched this. They didn't actually take part in this vault. They were watching people at Inflection make it through to the apex predator, which is obviously this, one of the Eton tree gods, I'm guessing. So yeah, lots of great stuff. Obviously, I'm super excited about showing you more. IGN seem pretty stoked as well. And then, yeah, we've got the Apex fight with the Hubbaba, or Humbaba, as he should be called. And this is the players, yeah, using the Mary Poppins umbrella to fly along to, I guess, this point of interest and see whether or not you're going to fight it. So it looks like you don't have to aggravate, or you don't have to actually fight these unless you really want to. They're not going to just home in on you as soon as you go within 100 feet. You do have to hit the first shot. Well, with this one anyway, at least. What I really like is the hitboxes. Often you play games and you can do damage even if it's a massive creature just by hitting within 10 feet of it. But here you really have to be aiming at the right parts. Its head is maybe a bit too large, so you can't really connect, and you'd be looking around. Obviously showing off the magic or maybe the enchantments more. It is going to be more grounded. You're not going to be throwing fireballs necessarily, but you will be imbuing your weapons with magic to do status effects. When I first saw this, I thought they set the apex creature on fire. That's what one of the effects was, but actually I don't know. I don't know if it's been infused with like maybe poison, or maybe as it loses its health it starts changing colour, because it seems to like almost be decaying. So really cool. I think definitely want to see more effects to really show and highlight what your enchanted weapons can do. Seemed to be some sort of ability here as well with different hammers and the pickaxe that could maybe raise the dirt in front of them and send it as like a charge attack. And yeah, really showing off some meaty shots with the hammer once you can actually connect. This guy definitely doesn't look like a walk in the park with the horrible smog and dust. Obviously might be choking you out, so yeah, you have to get out of it. And just crazy, just seeing how it's fighting and only being able to go for its legs. Obviously gathering or getting lots of resources for you eventually. We see gunplay at work, a combination of people using pistols as well as these enchanted effects. How much is gunplay going to be a part of the game? We've seen quite a fair few guns, rifles and stuff, so is that going to be something going to be unlocking fairly early, or is it going to be more primitive based for a while? That is something I can't wait to tell you the answers for. But there you go, you can see the effect really changing it there, almost like it was turning to stone, or it's got some sort of mould on it. The animations look pretty crisp. There was a couple little jankiness and bits and bobs, but that's what you might expect in early access. And the rest of the interviews that they've done with IGN are pretty much talking about the benefits of early access, speaking how great it's been to get feedback from players, the Discord playtesters they've had involved, players and creators like me also giving them feedback, and of course the technical test, which is upcoming. So to take part in that, you just simply go and follow and wishlist, I would say, Nightingale, and you should get a notification saying that it's ready for you to go and playtest. It will be a button on the Steam page, and it's as simple as that. There's no like other downloaders. I'm pretty sure that's how it's going to occur. We still don't have a definitive date just yet, but as soon as we get that info, I will let you guys know, and of course I'll be showing it, because I don't think there's any kind of embargo, like everyone can play it then. And you never know, I may have some other gameplay and footage coming around that same time, hopefully, fingers crossed, or a little later. And yeah, just really excited about it. So go and check out the full videos from IGN, definitely worth it. And I'll see you for more Nightingale breakdowns very soon. Bye bye.